Despite what some people seem to think, I have never once in any of my videos ever said that Britain should have to pay reparations. I've also not said that Britain shouldn't. I've said there is certainly a debate to be had, but you want to talk about reparations? Fine, let's talk about reparations. But let's talk about who actually received them. In 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act. Sounds progressive, right? It abolished slavery in Washington, D.C. But here's the part most people conveniently forget. The US government paid up to $300 per enslaved person to the slave owners, not to the enslaved people, not to the families torn apart, not to the people who had been whipped, raped, tortured, bought and sold like livestock. No, the compensation went to the people doing the enslaving. The formerly enslaved received virtually nothing. No land, no wealth, no generational support, nothing. And this wasn't some fringe policy. This was federal law. The District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act of 1862. Almost $1 million was paid out to former slave owners. That's reparations. White reparations. Now, let's go back to Britain. Britain loves to congratulate itself for abolishing slavery in 1833 with the Slavery Abolition Act, despite having done it for centuries beforehand. Well done. But again, who got compensated? Well, the enslaved, the slave owners. The British government borrowed £20 million. That was around 40% of the government's annual budget at the time, in order to compensate wealthy slave owners for the loss of property. Human beings were treated as property, and British taxpayers were still paying off that debt until 2015. Now, let that sink in. People alive today, including black British people, descendants of enslaved Africans, helped pay off compensation to slave-owning families. But the descendants of enslaved Africans? Nothing. Not a penny. One of the biggest payouts went to John Gladstone, father of future Prime Minister William Ewart Gladstone. He received the equivalent of millions today for losing over 2,500 enslaved people across plantations in Guyana and in Jamaica. And when people today say, reparations are ridiculous, slavery was too long ago, we can't afford it, really? Because apparently Britain and America could afford reparations when the money was going to wealthy white slave owners. You could compensate the enslavers, but not the enslaved. You could reward the people profiting from human suffering, but not the victims of it. And then people wonder why conversations about historical injustice still matter today. Because history didn't just disappear. Its wealth was inherited. Its poverty was also inherited. Its consequences were inherited. And pretending otherwise is historical amnesia. And for many people, it's convenient.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 12. It reads, "But they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means." Shalom, 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 shalom. Your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad. Alright. Coming again with another edification through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Alright, so first and foremost, Kal Halayam La Alahaya Nawa Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakaha Kodash Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai. Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai. Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders, a great millstone that do well. Salutation unto the brothers, who preaching and teaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters of listening and learning. Alright. We don't want the reparations, Esau. Alright. We don't need any reparations from the Edomites. Alright. Well, I will speak for the hopeful elect, the brothers and sisters, that is in this truth. I will speak for them. I will speak on their behalf, I could surely speak on their behalf. We don't want their reparations, their monetary reparations and whatnot and so forth. Alright. I would say time for that has passed. Alright, time has expired. pursuing the reparations. Only the jakes who still in this world, with their head so far up their ass, all they can see is the shit, as others usually say. Only they who do not know the time that they are living in, they let them fight for that. But us, we know we have something way better coming, alright? And we're going to get the true reparations. Alright? We'll get the true reparations. I think that's not about me. Okay? This is the reparations that we are looking forward to. Not your fiat currency and what have you, so forth. You understand? You all could keep that, because if you all wanted us to give us that after you all so-called freed us and what have you, so forth, alright, you all would have already have done it. But you see, again, I will come back to this scripture, a scripture that I was actually going to start with, but I ended up changing my mind, and the spirit ended up leading me to the wisdom of Solomon instead. But I had to come back to it, which is Ezekiel 35:5. Alright, where it reads, Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, alright, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Alright? Reason for reading the scripture is because to show you, they have a perpetual hatred for us. So they would never give us any reparations. Alright? They would never, alright, put any restoration towards us where we could do for ourselves. Alright? What we could do for ourselves. You see, the thing about it is they need for us to be in the position that we are in order for they to continually prosper of our depletion, of our downfall, of our, There is what it is here. If we was to ever rise as a nation, alright, us Israelites, alright, if we ever was to rise, come together and rise in every aspect to a fully functional society, from education to healthcare, a functioning economy, all these things, everything that makes a society well oiled and functionable. If that ever was to come about amongst us, they know that will be their downfall. They know that they would not. It will not be good for them. It will be their downfall. Alright, because again, the very first scripture that I read, they stand to gain a lot with us being in the position that we are in right now. Alright? They stand to gain a lot. Alright, so I'm going back to the Jeremiah 30, and I will start at verse 16. Jeremiah 30:16, where it reads, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So this is the first instance of reparation that we are looking forward to, where we having all you heathens, especially you Edomites, in captivity, alright, and spoiling you. This is the reparation we are looking forward to. We're not looking for the hope for the elect, but I'm sorry again, and I say I'm speaking of the hope for the elect. To the every average everyday nigger, the Pan-Africanist nigger and all of that shit, who's still living in a fucking bubble, alright, talking shit about reparations, and we want our reparations and this and that and the other. You all could go ahead. You all will never get it. And even if they do decide to give you all some form, alright, some form, you're gonna lose it. As the scripture says, he who try to find it his life here, you will lose it, man. You will lose it. Alright? Because you're just on a carnal mind state. Alright? Here's what it is. So verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee. Alright? That's both physically and spiritually. This is what the Lord is going to do. This is the restoration that we want. We're going to be in our right mind. Alright? Our reparation is going to come by the workings of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, not man. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Alright? For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. What is the wounds we suffering? You just see it every day. Alright? You just see it every day, what we're going through as a people. At the hands of these heathen. Not just Esau, but all the heathen. Alright? All the heathen have helped for the affliction. Alright? It says, say the Lord, because they call thee an outcast. This is the thing. This is why, going back, with Jeremiah 15 and 5. I'll gotta read that. I don't wanna, I will read that. I'll read that in the blue letter. And for the record, we don't need you to speak for us. Alright? We don't need you to speak for us. Alright? Esau, I believe you are full-fledged fucking Edomite, man. Alright? But we don't need it to speak for us. But anyhow, yeah. Where I'm at, well, the scripture that I want to get actually Jeremiah 15 and 5, I believe. It's 15 and 5. Yes. Jeremiah 15 and 5, where it reads, who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem, or who shall bemoan thee, or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Alright, this is the thing. Alright, these nations don't care about us. Your boy Michael Jackson sang a song on that, All you want to really say is that they don't really care about us. Yeah, remember that song? Yeah, they don't care about us. Alright, they don't care about us. Especially the Edomites. Alright? Our number one enemy. Alright? So bear with me. Alright, so back here to the scripture. Alright, to the Jeremiah 30 and 15. Alright? Because thou was 13 and 17 Salakia, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion whom no man seeketh after. You understand? Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent. Alright, from Judah all the way down to Issachar. And have mercy on his dwelling places. And the cities shall be builded up, upon her own heap, yeah, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof, and of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry, yeah, and I will what? And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them. This is the reparations that we're looking forward to. A heavenly reparation. Alright? Restoration that will be coming from the Most High. Alright? That nothing will be able to hinder. That nothing will be able to come against. Get what I'm coming from? It says what? and their nobles shall be of themselves, and the governor shall proceed from the midst of them, and I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engage his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord? And ye shall be my people, and I will be your power. Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord goeth forth with fury, a continual whirlwind. It shall what? It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. This is the reparations we're looking forward to. The fierce anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. Alright, this is what we're looking forward to. This is what we're looking forward for. This is the reparations we're looking forward for. As the scripture says what? I will go to Revelation 2 and 20. I will start from 25. Revelation 2 and 25. Revelation 2 and 25, where it reads, But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. This is what we're looking forward to. This is the reparations that we're looking forward to. Alright, we're not looking for no reparations as monetary fucking fiat currency bullcrap. We don't want that shit. Alright, we don't want that. Alright? We don't want that. We want to see we want to hold on to the end and receive that heavenly body and receive the reward of the heaven, of the kingdom of heaven. Alright? And having all power. Alright? And us exacting that power upon you heathens. Enslaving you heathens. That is the reparation that we want. That we waiting patiently for. The scripture says, here is I've done here already. Revelation 3 and 9? No. Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 9. Revelation 13 and 9, where it reads, If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we faithfully and patiently waiting on. This is the reparation that we truly, faithfully, patiently waiting on. You understand? You understand? This is what it is. All the gold and whatnot that you all have stuck up in store and whatnot, so forth, you all just have it just for the, as the scripture says, for the latter days, for the last days. Alright? And the just shall put it on. That's in Job. You understand? That's in Job. You know, so there's where it is here. I hear what you're saying in Esau. I hear what you're saying. It might as well be a Jake too, because let's watch out the color of his skin and what have you, so forth. And it's all about the spirit, but you know, at the same time, within my spirit, I feel you are freaking Edomite. But I hear what you're saying, but we don't need it to speak for us. You could speak for the two-thirds. But us, the hope for the elect, we don't need you to speak for us. Because we don't want that type of reparations. Alright? The reparation that we want is to actually own you. Yeah? We want to literally own you, have ownership over you Edomites. That's the reparation that we're looking forward to. That's that, and I think I will leave it at that. Alright, that's Isaiah. Going back to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. Alright, Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Yeah, will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. This is the reparation that we're looking for. Alright, we don't want a 40 acres on a mule. Alright, all you Jakes that are still looking for 40 acres on a mule, you know that shit is going to be burnt up pretty soon. That shit is going to be engulfed in thermal nuclear fire. So why look to receive, as the scriptures say, store up your treasures in kingdom, you know, where rust and moth will grow, you know, where thieves will come in and steal. Alright. Now, if you happen to be fortunate enough, you know, to, you know, live a better lifestyle, wherever, you know, you have money, wherever, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Alright. But your focus should be on Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. You know. That's it. You know, your focus should really be on Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, and really getting out of here. Because you know, today, tomorrow, if I happen to, if the Lord happen to bless me or whatever, I still have to continue this ministry. You understand? Because you know, the riches and life and death, you know, poverty and riches, all these things, you know, it cometh from the Lord. And the Lord give it and He take it away. You know? And if I just so happen to that's speaking, that's you know, hypothetically, you know, I still have to continue the work of the Lord. No matter what. Because he that pulleth his hand from the plow is not fit for the kingdom. Alright? I still have to continue to do the work. Whatever the case may be. Still keep my focus on the Lord and the brotherhood and what have you, so forth. And this is where our mind should be at. But the point, and reason for saying that, you know, again, you know, the Jakes who out in the world who still looking for reparations, still looking for 40 acres on a mule and what have you, so forth, you know. Which means, you know, you just focus on this side here. And you still focus on this side. You get your 40 acres on a mule and you're still underneath Massa. No matter what, this man still will be ruling. Alright, we want a restoration where we will have total ownership over every single thing, even them themselves. Alright? And owning our own land, having our own land, which is not America, which is Israel. Alright? And the strangers, alright, and the strangers shall be joined with them, that is the Israelite foreigners, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Alright? And the people shall take them, which is the heathen, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. Alright, this is the heathen it's speaking of, in the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is what we're looking forward to. Alright? This is what we're looking forward to. So hey, I hope you all are edified through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp signing out. Saying Kal Halayam La Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of great millstone that rule well. Salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so no more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Aqua. The brother Kahan signing out saying shalom, shalom. Wabad Babal Esau, Wabad Babal America.